whoever has a hold of my voodoo doll, can you give me that a favor and just let me breathe a little bit? Just a little bit. Just a tiny bit. A little tiny. And my husband too. Please just let him breathe a little bit.
Hello everyone, this is Emmanuel Cook. We will be reacting to a new video today, so make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe down below, and let's get into the video.
Are there any 80-plus-year-olds that would love to get married that have all their Social Security, retirement, Medicare all figured out, that would put me in their will? Preferably with a chronic illness that's letting you stick around for the next 6 months to a year. It will be the best 6 months to a year of your life. I will definitely keep you on your toes. But yeah, I'm not above it. I'm not. I'll marry you. I know all the paperwork. Like, I know the stuff that you have to get because I saw how they did everything for my grandma. I'll get you that bed that has little buttons that'll adjust on it. I'll get you that toilet so you don't even have to leave the room. I know what nurse to get. I know who to call. I will say I do have an attitude. I do. That it is what it is. But that sometimes helps because sometimes these nurses catch an attitude and deny you things that you fucking deserve. And not on my watch, King. Not on my watch. Okay? I know the aftercare after, you know, it's your time. I know where to take you. I know who to speak to. I know what to ask for. So yeah, if you want to just drop me an email, or if it's easier for you, write me a letter and you can drop it off at my job and I will for sure get it. But that's what I'm looking for.
I've had it up to here with this economy and it's getting out of control. Y'all know these things are $2 now? They're selling these chocolate bars for $2. $2. That's what I said when my coworker asked me, you guys want to buy some candy for my daughter's fundraiser? I'm like, yeah, what are we selling? He's like, chocolate bars. I'm like, oh yeah. I gets down with the, like, we go way back. Go to my wallet, about to pull out some money. She's like, get $2. $2? And then I wanted two, so $4. I was shocked. This is getting out of hand.
Let me know how I just spent $10 fucking on a mango smoothie. There's nothing else in here. It's just mango and non-fat yogurt. How the fuck did I spend $10? How are you affording to live? Wages are not going up. Obviously, there's fat inflation right now. Like, how are people with families affording to make ends meet? Like, I'm privileged enough to not have that responsibility right now, not have to worry about that right now. And I can't imagine people out there with families that have to, like, put food on the table. Like, I can barely afford basic necessities. Yesterday, there was this girl on TikTok, and she was showing her, like, 450 square foot, like, studio apartment in New York. And she's paying almost $3,000 for it. $3,000. Like, that is so much fucking money. Like, more than 50% of a lot of people's salaries, like the average American salary. I'm so worried, especially for our generation. I feel like we're never going to be able to buy a house. We're never going to be able to just, like, enjoy the average things that, like, every human being in this country should be able to enjoy and should have access to. This is my fucking dinner for today. Also, I used to have the WAG app in high school, and I would just, like, walk dogs for fun over the summer. I had to re-download it now because I'm like, not only am I a dental student, but I'll be your dog walker, I'll do your nails, I'll do your brow, I'll clean your house at this point. I don't care. Just let me know what you guys are doing. Like, are we riding at dawn? Are we not paying taxes? Let me know.
Bro, why? Before this goes any further, I'm not stupid. I understand economics. I understand capitalism. I understand inflation. I guess. But why? Why is inflation even a fucking thing, dude? A cow's still a cow. A chicken's still a chicken. Eggs are still eggs. Trees are still a tree that makes wood. I don't get it, bro. Nothing has changed except the value of our dollar. Like I said, I get it. It's inflation, but I don't understand. Why? What makes it go up? Who makes it go up? This is going to go way over some heads. But none of this started till like 1970. And not a lot of people know what happened in 1970. I think that was the year anyway. But nothing has changed except the value of our dollar. And I don't get it, bro. It don't even make sense. It's astonishing.
I'm actually, like, not in the mood for anything right now. Everything is just too expensive. I went in for an oil change this morning. He told me to come see something real quick. I should have turned away.
I go in, my car got its legs in the air. Why is she up there like that? They send me to work in an Uber. How much you think that cost?
I am so sick of this economy and inflation and baby boomers. And I know that there's like a million people on TikTok every day complaining about inflation and the economy, but I don't know how I'm going to do this anymore. First, it started with my mom couldn't watch our kids while we worked anymore, which is totally understandable. You know, I can pay a babysitter, we'll cut costs, we'll budget it, we'll make it work. And then we lost Medicaid because it was only being extended for us because of COVID, and all the COVID like government benefits stopped. Okay, that's fine. We'll budget for health insurance, we'll cut more expenses, we'll sacrifice, we'll work more hours, we'll do whatever. And then student loans, we weren't planning on student loans being forgiven, so we were already trying to figure out how to make it work to pay when payments started up again. But both my husband and I have student loans, and I cannot believe our student loans have gone up, even though we've always made the payments on them because the interest is just so high. And so we were trying to figure out how we're going to do that, and we really didn't know. And then the final blow of it all is our property taxes were raised, which we were expecting because they evaluate home values the same time every 2 years, but most of the time it's only like increased by like a couple of $100s a year. This time increased by a couple $100s a month. And on top of that, when that happens, your homeowner's insurance goes up because it covers the value of your home. People, they're saying my home is worth $500,000, which is bullshit because I can't list it for $500,000. A real estate agent straight up told me that. So we contested it with our state, with our county, and they basically said, fuck off. This is what we've decided. We reject your appraisal. So I went from $1,600 a month in a mortgage to almost $2,000 for the homeowner's insurance and everything. And I got to pay back 2 student loans. I got to pay babysitters every time I go to work. I have no idea how to keep doing this. And the thing that makes me so mad about the baby boomers is my husband and I have decided that our best option is to sell our home so we can take the equity to pay off our car loan, a personal loan that my husband took out during COVID because he was a small business owner during COVID, and our student loans. I don't feel like that's a lot of debt for people. Like, we're not drowning in credit card debt. We didn't, build a pool in our yard. We didn't buy a boat. It wasn't like we were irresponsible with money, but every single time we talked to our family about selling our house, our home, where I brought my 2 babies home from the hospital where they've walked in to go rent, they're like, that's a terrible idea. Don't do that. You're so irresponsible for doing that. Why do you even have student loan debt? Why do you even have a car payment? I have 1 car payment out of the 3 vehicles I own, okay? And they're like, that you're so stupid. You're so wrong for doing this. And I'm like, you don't get it. And I know we always make jokes about how out of touch the baby boomers are with what we're dealing with financially, but I'm making the most money I ever had my entire life. My husband and I, between the 2 of us, gross, make like over $80,000 a year. And if you told me a few years ago that $80,000 a year was not going to be enough for a family of 4 and we would be selling our house to pay off debt that's normal people debt. My parents always had a car payment my childhood. My parents always had payments to make that wasn't frivolous spending, but everybody keeps treating me like I deserve this and that it's my fault. And I'm just so sick of it. And when is enough? And I think what makes me most upset is it's not going to be another young family that comes and buys my house. It's going to be some corporation. I've already gotten an offer from a real estate company because they want to rent it. They want to rent my house to some other poor sucker. How messed up is this?
I've been quite quiet about this entire thing. But I'm tired. So, am I the only one that realizes that we have to pay for every single thing that we do? Like, America is set up for the consumer. We have to pay for everything. Like, I got 3 kids. I gotta pay to put the clothes on their back, pay to put food in their mouths, and pay to put shoes on their feet. Then we have to pay for a place to stay, and then we have to pay for the gas that we ride in, the car to put gas in, and then we have to pay for the TV we watch, subscriptions we use, and all of that. And then gas prices is ridiculous. Food prices are ridiculous. The only gratification that I get from going to the grocery store is when I go to the grocery store, I have a discount card, right? And I see the price go from $200 to $150. That is the best time that I have at the grocery store. Because I know that these store prices and all the discounts that they have going on is like top tier. Now, I'm not coming on here to rant. I was initially coming on here to rant and just realized that, Lord Jesus, I remember when I was a child and I used to be like, I want to be an adult, so I don't have to listen to you. And I want to be an adult so I can do what I want and drive my own car and pay my own bill, blah, 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 blah. Right? If I could take all my words back, because I'm eating every bit of my words right now, I would. I would. I had my life planned out. I was going to have kids by 25, be married by 25, do all of that. It's so funny how us as children think that life is so easy, but it's not. I want to be able to not have to worry about paying for everything all the time. That's it. Inflation and life is lifing. Like, life is really lifing right now. Like, oh, God help me. Lord Jesus, please help me. Life is lifing. That's all I had to say. Y'all let me know how y'all feel. I want to hear how y'all feel. Like, I want to know if I'm the only one that's thinking these thoughts, because boo-boo.
They gotta be charging for oxygen at this point. Just walked outside, already dropped $100. Like, Earth is starting to get, I'm trying to go to Earth too. It's starting to get really expensive to live here. So whoever's with me, the math's not my thing. Like, how I just stepped outside, already dropped 100.
I just need to rant for a moment. I am just so frustrated because I don't know the solution. I don't know when it's going to end. The cost of everything going up. Like, what's the solution here? When's it going to stop? I'm on this rant right now because everything, all of my bills, everything is going up. Like, I just don't get it. And I know people are saying things like, you know, you don't have to go eat out, you don't have to go on a vacation, you don't have to play video games, you don't have to do this or this or this. What am I supposed to do? What joy am I supposed to have? Am I just supposed to work, go home, sleep, work, go home, sleep? What is the point in that? That is so depressing and it's so frustrating. Even the little things, Hulu, Netflix, Apple Music, shit, even my son's V-Bucks, everything is going up. Car insurance, groceries, we all see it. It's so, I'm literally making the most money I have ever made. Why am I drowning? I don't even know. I'm just so frustrated. And I know I'm not the only one. And I'm so thankful I got a raise. I really am, because, you know, with everything going up and not getting a raise, you were working for less than you've ever worked. You weren't making as much because, yeah, you were working for less. So I'm thankful that literally it's just to keep up with the inflation, and it's not even doing that. Everybody is feeling it, but we are all grateful that any of us get any kind of raise. It's just all the different things raising, even if it's only $1 or $2, it adds up because it's everything. I just don't know. I'm just so frustrated, and I'm torn. I'm like, do I take out a credit card and just keep living, and hopefully it'll go back down, and I can worry about that later? Like, I don't know. I'm making the most money I've ever made, and I'm more frustrated than I ever have been. I just laugh because I want to cry, and not gonna do anything. I mean, this isn't gonna do anything. No, I'm not alone. I'm just so frustrated.
From my experience, in this economy, the best thing that you can do is get out of debt. That is the best thing that you can do. Debt holds you back so much from achieving your goals. If you are stuck in debt and you're trapped, it is a constant struggle. Struggle to survive, struggle to thrive, just a constant struggle, you know? And the best thing you can do is try your hardest, work your hardest to get out of debt. Then try to lower your expenses as much as possible.
Somebody needs to explain inflation to me like I'm 3 years old, because none of it makes sense to me. Prices just keep raising by 100%, 120%. So in 10 years, that $3 item is now $30. Somebody tell me how this is sustainable.
These stores have literally lost their fucking minds. I had gone to Target the other day. I spent a little money, which is, you know, to be expected, right? And I went back today because there was a couple things I didn't get that I needed. One freaking bag, not even full of stuff, $50. Yeah. I'm tired. I'm tired of here. I'm tired of California. I need to move out of state like yesterday. It's literally so friggin' expensive. I can't buy anything without spending an arm and a leg. And I only bought like a few things, a few basics. Nothing crazy. It ticks me off. It just ticks me off. I'm done. I'm so done. I hate it.
A quick reminder, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe down below, and let's continue the video.
My situation, I did lost my job, so of course, you know, I wasn't able to pay rent, but my landlord let me, you know, pay both rents next month. But the fact that I'm reading a lot of comments saying that it's the new normal, that a lot of families are not being able to afford living, groceries, and, you know, a lot of things, a lot of necessities. It's very painful. This is the richest country in the world. How is it that many people are not being able to afford the basic necessities? That's mind-blowing. My situation, you know, is very particular. They lost my job, so of course I wasn't able to afford it. But to read that people have jobs and still cannot afford, wow, that is mind-blowing on its own. That is crazy to me.
Everything is so expensive. Like, how are you guys surviving? Like, I honestly feel like I need a second and a third job and a fourth job, because it's just insane. I feel bad for families that are really struggling, that are not getting the help that they need. It's insane. Like, I only came for a couple things, and I spent the amount of money that I didn't plan on spending because I had to get extra things that I needed for the house. I didn't even, like, I still have to pay for the food. I still have to pay for food for now, and then Thanksgiving food. I don't understand how you guys are surviving. Honestly, I feel bad. You know, I'm grateful that I have a job, and you know, support at home as well. It's crazy. It's crazy how the economy has changed. I feel like they invented this fucking COVID for a reason, so the inflation could happen. Like, I feel like all this was just a fucking plan. A fucking plan to screw the United States people. There ain't no other excuse.
This is going to step on a lot of toes, but y'all need to hear it. Now, I understand that every situation is different, and this may not pertain to you, or it might, and don't get your feelings hurt for understanding the truth of the situation. People do not hold themselves accountable anymore. Now, I understand corporate greed and inflation and all that stuff. All that has played a gigantic role in this. But people took advantage of the economy when it was really good and expected it to stay good. You stayed at your part-time job or your full-time job making $15, $16, $17 an hour, and you were doing okay, so you didn't think you needed to go anywhere else. In reality, that was the perfect time. You should have shot up the ladder. and I understand prices vary from city to city on everything. People get themselves in bad situations and don't want to admit it because it's hard to take accountability for yourself, because I know I've had to. That's why I ended up in bankruptcy quite a few years ago. I see this on a daily basis, guys. Couples, both of them driving brand new cars with a payment $700 to $1,200 a month apiece, and they're the first ones to come on here and bitch about not being able to afford anything. I don't have any sympathy for them. That was a bad decision. You have to be prepared for the what ifs. What if the economy crashes? What if the banks crash? It's not always going to stay 100% perfect, guys. And by looking at the United States track record, it never has. And just like everything else, it will get better again. People go out and buy brand new cars. People go out and get $5,000 to $10,000 worth of credit card debt. And now they're stuck because inflation's at an all-time high. Election time's right around the corner, so everything is going to be higher right now. What did you think was going to happen? You have to pay that back. You always have to have a fallback plan. If you're sitting around in just a bad situation, you hate your job, it doesn't pay you well, you're sitting in an area you don't want to be in, what are you doing? If you're a man with a little bit of work ethic, there's so many opportunities out there to make money. There's unions, there's travel contracts for every kind of work you can imagine. If you've done any little bit of carpentry or piping or welding or whatever, you could make 3 figures a year starting out. There's companies wanting to hire guys so bad, but nobody wants to come and work. They quit because they can't handle it. You're going to be away from your family for a little while, but if you're going to get yourselves out of a rut into a better situation, then go make that money. Women can do it too. Ladies, healthcare is where the money is at, and by the looks of it, it's where it's going to be at for a little while. If you ain't ever even stepped foot in a healthcare facility, go get your CNAs. Stay away from medical assistant. That shit don't pay you nothing. I know CNAs right now on a travel assignment making $3,000 to $5,000 a week, and nurses are making more than that. You may not think you like it, or you may not think you can do it, but you never know until you try. If I was making $3,000 or $5,000 a week, I would be happy doing it. There's plenty of money to be made, guys. Are you going to sit around on your ass and whine about how things are and wait on some whack job in Washington, D.C. to come in here and fix it for you? Because they're not going to, and even if they did, it would take a little while to even fix all this. Or are you going to go out there and make that damn money? Just say you took a contract somewhere making $3,000 a week. That's $12,000 a month. By the end of your 13-week contract, if that's the one that you sign, you'll have almost $40,000. That's a year's salary for some folks for 3 months worth of work. Going somewhere new would be good for you. It's not scary. Trust me, my wife and I have both done it. We went to Maine for like 4 or 5 months. 24-hour drive with 3 children. It can be done if you want it to be done. Don't sit around here and wait for it. You got to want it.
In life, it has its ups and its downs. When things are good in your life, please save money. Please invest. Please be smart with your money. Work a lot harder, because there will be bad times right after the good times. You have to be smart and you have to think ahead. If you know that there will be bad times right around the corner, right after the good times, why don't you prepare? If you know that things will get a lot harder and a lot more expensive, why don't you prepare for those things? It is literally common sense. Hope for the best, prepare for the worst. It's a good saying, and it's absolutely true.
Just another day waking up not rich. Like, I was meant to be rich. I can tell by the way I spend money.
People, when you see me sleep in my car, don't assume I'm poor. The question should be, how comfortable is the car? Maybe I like sleeping in my car. You know what I'm saying? This is an upgrade from where I come from. And I'm not talking about Africa, people. I'm talking about Detroit. Have you seen Detroit? You know what I'm saying? Everything is perspective. They say one man's trash is another man's treasure. Well, this was Stephen Hawking's trash. Now it's my pickup. You know what I'm saying? Everything is perspective, people.
Every time I see something from Gen X and Boomers about how younger generations just don't want to work anymore, we do want to work, but we want to be able to live because we're working. You had the opportunity to be able to afford all the things that you need, a place to live, to be able to do things that you want because you went to work. Us? We could all be working 40, 60 hours a week, and we still can't fucking afford to do anything, let alone save any money. Do you see what shit costs? You guys were able to live on your own. You could rent a little apartment, live by yourself. That's the difference. If working full-time today actually got you those things, people would be way more inclined to do it. But no, it doesn't anymore. And then be able to save up for a house. People my age have no hope. The only house that I will ever get will be the one that my parents live in right now after they die. That's the only house that I have any hope of ever having. And I'm not alone. I'm not alone. That's why people my age.
Okay, yes, inflation is definitely one of the major reasons why things are so much more expensive for all of us. But I feel like the real, actual underlying cause for why everything sucks and everything is so expensive and difficult nowadays is not in the forefront of everyone, and it's not the major topic everyone talks about, and that's private equity. Private equity is probably the sole reason why pretty much every aspect of our society sucks. The reason your favorite restaurant chain now sucks is because they probably sold to private equity. The reason your experience with your physician sucks maybe is because they probably recently sold to private equity. The reason owning or buying a home is so difficult or finding affordable rent is so difficult is because private equity is going out and buying all the properties and collectively raising up rents and monopolizing even housing. Every single business that starts now starts with the goal of eventually selling to private equity. And I don't get why we don't talk about it as much as we should.
So I decided to get a part-time job. And the reason for that is because everything's getting more expensive. Wages aren't increasing to match that for the most part. Like 3 years ago, we could have lived on my husband's salary and had extra money to be comfortable. And we did. I was going to school, doing my thing, and we were still able to afford to go out and do stuff. Whereas now we're both working full-time and it seems like we can barely keep up. Makes no sense. I don't understand how it's happening, but it is. So I decided to get a part-time job because my husband works 12-hour shifts. I don't want him to work extra. I don't. I work a full-time job from home from 6:15 to 2:45 p.m. Tuesday through Saturday. So the problem I'm running into is finding a part-time job where I can work the days that my husband works. And the part-time job that I accepted, they said that they would agree with that they would do that. However, my training schedule is literally Monday through Friday from 5 to 9. I don't have daycare. We only have one family member here, and it's my mother-in-law, and she's getting old. So it's kind of why I started this TikTok account, because if I can get into TikTok shop, I'm not going to start this job. I'm going to be doing the stupid job that I don't want to do because I have to. So anyways, thanks for listening to my rant.
How are you surviving this silent depression? Let me tell you, some of us are not, and some of us is me. This is getting absolutely ridiculous, from the incessant greedflation of corporations that just continue to squeeze and squeeze and squeeze us with higher prices, and nobody's forcing them to justify why the prices keep going up. Why are we doing this? Because we can't buy groceries, we can't pay rent, we can't be... Listen, I was almost evicted this month. I would have been evicted this month if not for my family, because I had one banking issue. This cannot go on. Like, if anybody thinks that we can actually afford to live right now, they are absolutely tripping. Like, I don't know how we're gonna make it. I don't know how I'm gonna make it. I don't know how me and my mom are like this is just, I've had enough. Like, I'm at my wit's end. I'm at my wit's end. I don't want to lose my car. I don't want to get evicted. Like, but what's gonna break? And I have job situations that I'm praying about, but nothing seems to be materializing there. So what's going to happen? Like, what's going to break? Like, how is this going to get solved? Like, are we all supposed to just, be forced outside, be forced onto the street and like not make it? Because like, that cannot be the way that this happens in the United States of America. There cannot possibly be justification for all of the greed that we are seeing from major level corporations. We can blame government. I know that there's a lot of issues with government too. There's a lot of bad decisions being made by Congress. There's a lot of bad decisions that are going to be supported by folks that we hope would be on our side. But it's corporations, folks. Like, let's not pretend that Congress is doing all of this. This is called greedflation, skyrocketing rents, skyrocketing prices and things. Car market is collapsing, so that's no longer sky high. But for those of us stuck with ridiculously high car payments, this is greed. This is greedflation, and it's got to end. Like, we cannot let corporations off the hook and blame Congress just because we get to vote for them. Like, they don't have to raise the prices as fast and as ridiculously as they have. They don't have to raise the prices. If you're raking in profits, you don't have to raise that price of that burger or whatever it is. But don't expect us to keep getting it. Like, all of that's going to stop. Like, I'm done. Like, I can't afford it. Can't afford anything else. I can't afford anything else that's superfluous. So it's just not going to happen. And me is everybody. So like, if that's what you want, if that's what these corporations want, if you can't make things affordable for people, then people are going to shut it down. Then your business goes out of business anyway. So is that why you raise the prices so much? Is that why you're skyrocketing everything, so that you can just lose your business? because that's where you are. Listen to me, corporations. Listen to me, CEOs. That's where you are. If you're going to keep jacking up your prices, get ready for your customers to revolt. I'm not the biggest fan of Elon Musk, but one thing I can tell you about Elon Musk is the Tesla prices are coming down because he sees the writing on the wall. I hope other corporations see that. Like, you can't jack up your prices. You can't do shrinkflation. You know, like if you've noticed, if you've gotten a burger lately, it's become a slider, right? So this can't go on. It just can't go on because we're not going to make it. Like, we're not going to make it. So I hope y'all are doing okay, but this, you know, I've had enough.
These companies do all of that stuff on purpose. It's all planned. They all raise up their prices. Each of them. They literally plan these things just so they can earn a profit, and even more profits and more profits and more profits. And we, as the consumers, we get screwed over all the time. But how long can this really continue to go on? How long? This is not sustainable. We cannot just continue to pay for these things. It makes no sense.
Look, girl, I'm just tired, okay? I'm just tired. I feel like this economy is crazy. And now we got all this other shit after Election Day. It's going to be my dance at the club. I'm just tired.
Things companies do that will piss you off. Trickflation. Inflation is when everything remains the same, but the price of things go up. Right? Now, trickflation is this crap that companies pull where they're still jacking up the price, but the product itself is actually going down. So the packaging is getting smaller. What a lot of companies do is they make things more slender and taller so that they seem just as big or even bigger. And so they're charging more, and to the consumer, it seems to make sense, but it's less, and they're charging so much more for this. So you see here, there's 2 Coca-Colas, right? And it's saying that last week, $1.06, this one here, the regular size, and its replacement now is $2.37, but they're both 12 ounces. What brands and snacks and cereal and drinks have you noticed this with specifically? It's really sad when we see things like this because it really means that they think that we aren't paying attention, that we are stupid. I've seen this so much with cereal, snacks. The bags have more air, less snacks in them. The cereal boxes are getting, if you turn them sideways, they're thinner, but they're taller. So they are absolutely charging us so much more, but they're putting so much less product in there. And they think we don't notice. They really think we don't notice.
So I know I've seen a lot of these type of videos on social media, but, you know, how many people just kind of think life's a scam now? I mean, we were told growing up, go to school, get an education, get a job, work your job. Once you're an adult, you can do what you want, have what you want, travel, see the world. No, we can't, because we're on the cusp of like freaking World War III. We can't afford groceries. We can't afford to live. Like, dude, life's a scam. Like, I just need Jesus to come back, y'all. I mean, we work to be broke, to have nothing. It's like the older I get, I'm just like, dude, life's a scam. I mean, who else agrees? I mean, is anybody else struggling, or is it just me, my family? I mean, we've had to move from the life we had in with family because we're trying to get to a place so we can buy a house. We were paying so much of rent. By the end of the month, we didn't have any money left over to start saving to, try to buy a house. It's just like life's a scam. It's exhausting, y'all. Who else is exhausted?
Listen, I see why my grandma did not want to put the heater on the AC on. I see why she used to be like, turn out the lights. Baby, I done got that electricity bill. Okay, I got that electricity bill. No, I'm walking around this house turning off lights, and I bet you we be cold this winter. And my apartment's got that little solar thing, so like they control the electricity, so the electricity is included in my rent. And let me tell you, they not gonna have to worry about my electricity bill not me using not as much electricity no more. Maybe that's it. We finna walk around here how I did when I was growing up. Beanies, mittens, blankets, them little fuzzy socks. We finna do all that around here. We don't get the luxury of being warm and having the heater on no more. And I really think it's because of the little solar thing, because my other apartment, I didn't have that problem. And believe me, the heater was on. But yeah, y'all. I don't know. Look. We finna be cold in here. That's all I gotta say.
I appreciate you guys watching the video today. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.